Hey, what's going on, world? This is your international host, T-Mix, man. I'm here with Tom Green. Right now, man, we're going to get to him. He just finished up at the Improv, man. He's going to let you guys know. Hey, Tom, what's going on?
Oh, good times, man. That was great. That was great to have a nice show tonight. Great to have you guys here. And we had a great show tonight, and we just finished. And yeah, good times in Houston, Texas.
Hey, Tom, man, just when you first started out, man, what would you say is like, what was your inspiration, man? Talk about some of your ups and some of your downs, man, just starting out for people that might be starting a new company or want to come into the same field that you're doing. Give them some advice.
First of all, never quit. Okay, that's the first thing I would say. I had a lot of big influences and things that I was a big fan of. Big fan of Howard Stern. I was a big fan of David Letterman. I was a big fan of The Tonight Show, and I would actually go read all their biographies. That's what I did when I was in high school. I went and read everyone's biography, kind of looked at what they did, and tried to figure out, how I could apply that to what I wanted to do. And I started, in a very independent way. I went and got a video camera, and I went and started filming things, and I went doing it on my own, and trying to create something for myself. And I did this show on the public access station in Canada, and we did it for years. We did it for 7 years before anybody, it was voluntary. I was volunteering at the public access station, and every day for about 7 years, and we had this, little steps, one step at a time. We'd get a cool newspaper article would be written about the show, or something would happen, people would watch, and more people would be coming down to be in the audience. And there was a lot of times where I was like, really thought, this is probably never going to pan out, and I'm 25 years old now. I've just moved back into my parents' basement, and but actually, a local radio guy in Ottawa told me the same thing. I said, I was asked him the same question. He said, just never quit. And so I didn't, and kept going. And a few more years later went by, and we got picked up by a comedy network in Canada. And then that took off. We got picked up by MTV, and and it's the same thing. You've got ups and downs. I mean, I went through MTV, and I had a lot of success, and then I had some critical things that went wrong, and now I'm trying to start doing stand-up again. Right. And you just kind of just got to keep pursuing it, and really look at the people that have done it before you, that have done a great job, and really study it, and try to follow in their footsteps, and put your own style on things. But you can learn a lot from other people. So, yeah.
Your favorite sports team and your favorite sports player, past or present?
My favorite sports team now is the Ottawa Senators, because I'm from Ottawa, and being Canadian, we have to, we grew up watching hockey, playing hockey, so got to support the hometown team. Favorite hockey player, past or present, I have to say is Wayne Gretzky, number 99. Wayne Gretzky, when I was a kid, Edmonton Oilers. I mean, they were the dynasty. That was like, the Michael Jordan of hockey, really. And, Wayne Gretzky actually has more records than any professional athlete in history. And I grew up really, kind of idolizing him. Unfortunately, I wasn't a very good hockey player. But, he was the man. Yeah, absolutely. Wayne Gretzky. Yeah.
When you're just maybe lounging around or maybe in your car, what's in your CD changer? What's on the radio? Are you listening to sports talk? Are you listening to music? What do you do to get ready for a show?
I listen to a lot of old 1990s hip-hop, like Tribe Called Quest, Public Enemy, De La Soul, Gangstar, Boogie Down Productions, stuff like that. I like 80s music. Got Sirius Radio. I listen to the First Wave channel a lot, which is a lot of 80s music. I don't listen to much new music. I guess I do like some of the new music, though. I mean, I like Akon, I like Lil Wayne, I like a lot of new music, too, T-Pain. Right. But when I'm really listening to stuff that I really kind of vibe off, I like to listen to stuff that I was really into when I was in high school, and, it tends to be the earlier hip-hop music, Beastie Boys and Run DMC and all that kind of stuff, so, yeah.
How would you say, things have changed from when you first started out till now where you're at now in your career?
Well, in some ways, it's kind of gone full circle, because I was doing this little television show on public access, and now I'm doing a little television show on my website on tomgreen.com. And I love that. It's different. I'm older now. I'm not living in my parents' basement anymore. I feel like I can sort of point to certain things that I've done that were successful, but you never really sort of stop feeling like kind of chasing the goal, because things feel very similar to the way they felt when I started, really. I'm just jumping up and doing this stand-up comedy tour. It's my first ever world stand-up comedy tour, first ever stand-up comedy tour. And, it's a very new thing for me. It's very exciting to see all these people in Houston come out to see the show. I've never played in Houston before. I come to Houston. I don't know if anyone's going to come out to the show, right?
Yeah.
And have, people like you coming out, guys like you coming out with your cameras and doing interviews and stuff. It's pretty cool. So it's very exciting. It's never really, I think if it ever is not exciting anymore, I'll probably have to stop at that point. But yeah, I always try to kind of try new things, If something starts to feel kind of like, I've done it too many times, then I try something new. And that's this year I'm really, really focusing on trying to do stand-up comedy. It's something I've wanted to do my whole life. Yeah. And so I'm having a great time. Yep.
Who would you say is like your best interview that really stood out to you that you can remember? Like, man, that was a good interview with that person. Or can you talk about that?
I think probably my favorite one was when I got to interview Ed McMahon from The Tonight Show, Johnny Carson's sidekick. Got to interview him several times. First on my MTV show, and then when he came up to my web show at my house. Right. And I think we sort of got to know each other a little bit. He passed away last year. It was a sad thing when that happened, but it was sort of a real honor to be able to have gotten to talk to him and have him in my living room where I've built this Tonight Show type set, right. Which is essentially modeled after the show that he did for 30 or so years. So that was pretty cool. I really also liked interviewing Daryl McDaniels from Run DMC on MTV. That was pretty cool because I got to talk about the whole history of hip-hop music, and then afterwards we went out in the performance area and we rapped together. We rapped It's Tricky together, and that was pretty cool, That's awesome. So, I've had some good times with that. I also really like when I get really crazy people on my show, like, Steve-O from Jackass is always hilarious. I love him, and he's so funny, and Andrew Dice Clay is a very funny guy, and, so it's, I've had some great luck with getting some great people who I really kind of respect to come up and support my show. So it's been good.
That's always good, man. And Got Mixed, we're all about like positive promotion, man. So we wanted to. Is there any charities that you deal with, or is there any thing that you personally do that really touches people that people might not know about you, man?
Well, I like to support cancer, anything to do with cancer. My mother's actually doing a marathon for cancer right now, so I'm really happy about what she's doing, and there's a few other things that I'm getting involved with. That I won't get into the specifics, but a friend of mine was just recently paralyzed and playing hockey, and I'm hoping to do a benefit for him because he had a real tough break with that. So, but I generally stay pretty private about the charitable stuff, but I do think it's important for people to get out there and do some public service and, be aware that there's a lot of people out there that aren't, as fortunate as the rest of us, I think the homeless, something that we gotta, really be respectful of. I spend a lot of my time going around on the streets, filming videos growing up, and I was always often sort of in a situation where I'd find myself talking to somebody who was, a little bit less fortunate and stuck on the streets, and so I always try to help those guys out too, as much as I can.
Man, on behalf of myself and Got Mixed, man, we want to congratulate you, man. You just got mixed. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks. Hello, everybody. This is Tom Green from TomGreen.com, and you're watching GotMixed.net. Check out my website, and then check out GotMixed.net. TomGreen.com, GotMixed.net. Peace.